You've seen the neon pinks, the glittering golds, the rare turquoise blues. Temu is flooded with gemstones that promise fortune, but most are nothing more than clever fakes. Every day, people toss away real value and pay top dollar for rocks that would not fool a rookie prospector. Stick with me, and you will learn the secrets that scammers pray you never discover. Professional gem hunters know something you do not. The world's most convincing fakes are hiding in plain sight, and the difference between a worthless trinket and a hidden fortune is razor thin. Some of these stones are rarer than diamonds, but the fakes are everywhere. Sold by the pound, polished to perfection, and marketed with names that sound like treasure. By the end of this video, you will never look at a creek bed, a flea market, or an online listing the same way again. Let's start with a stone that's fooled more buyers than any other. A rock that looks like a carnival prize, but is sold as a collector's gem. You pick up a chunk of agate at a market stall or scroll past a photo online. It is blindingly pink, almost glowing, with bands that look painted on by a child. The surface is glassy, the color so intense it almost hurts your eyes. But here's the secret. Nature never made agate in these colors. Real agate forms deep in volcanic rock, layer by layer, as silica-rich water seeps into ancient cavities. The result is earthy tones, grays, browns, soft reds, the occasional muted blue or green. Pink and purple are the handiwork of 19th century dye masters, not Mother Earth. The dyeing process is a trade secret from the old gem cutting towns of Germany. They soak porous agate in vats of chemical dyes, rhodamine for pink, crystal violet for purple, sometimes for days, sometimes with a little heat to drive the color deep into the cracks. The result is a stone that looks like it belongs in a candy shop, not a mineral collection. But the giveaway is always there. The color pools in the cracks, the bands are too sharp, and if you rub it with a little acetone, the dye will bleed right onto your cotton swab. Real agate never does that. And the price? Natural pink or purple agate is so rare it commands hundreds, sometimes thousands, per carat. The dyed stuff? You can buy a bag for the price of a sandwich. This is what nature hides from the impatient. But if you think fake color is the worst trick in the book, wait until you see what happens when fire meets amethyst. You're holding a crystal cluster that glows with the warmth of a campfire, deep orange, almost burnt at the tips, fading to white at the base. The seller calls it citrine, the merchant's gold, a stone said to bring wealth and luck. But here's the truth. Almost every citrine you see on Temu, in markets, or even in jewelry stores, is nothing but burnt amethyst. Real citrine is a geological fluke, formed when iron-rich quartz is naturally heated by the earth, turning it a pale, smoky yellow. It is subtle, rare, and almost never found in geode clusters. But take a chunk of amethyst, heat it in a kiln to 500 degrees Celsius, and you get that fiery orange color. The process is so common that over 90% of citrine on the market is actually heat-treated amethyst. The clues are in the color zoning: intense orange at the tips, white at the base, and a crystal habit that screams lab not lava. If you see a geode cluster labeled as citrine, it is almost certainly a fake. Real citrine is found as single points, never in those dramatic clusters. And the price? Genuine citrine is a collector's dream, fetching hundreds per carat. The heat-treated stuff is sold by the kilogram, and the only thing it brings is disappointment. This is the alchemy of the marketplace, turning amethyst into fool's gold. And while we are talking about alchemy, let us talk about a stone that is pure wizardry, one that never saw the inside of a volcano. You spot a stone that glitters like 1,000 stars trapped in amber. It is called goldstone, sometimes called aventurine glass, and it is sold as a natural wonder. But goldstone is no mineral. It is a Venetian invention. Born in the glass furnaces of Murano in the 1600s, the secret is molten glass, copper filings, and a carefully controlled atmosphere. The copper crystallizes as the glass cools, creating a sparkle that no natural stone can match. But the clues are there for those who know where to look. Goldstone is perfectly uniform. Every fleck of copper is suspended in glass, every surface flawless. Hold it to your cheek, and it warms instantly. It is glass, not quartz. Look close with a loupe, and you will see tiny bubbles, the fingerprints of the furnace. Real aventurine or sunstone has a subtle, uneven shimmer, never this artificial dazzle. And the price? Goldstone is made by the ton, sold for pennies, but marketed as a rare gem. The only thing rare about it is the truth. This is what happens when human hands outshine nature. But if you think glass is the only imposter, wait until you meet a stone that borrows its name from the moon and its glow from a factory. You see a bead that glows with a milky blue fire, sometimes called opalite, sometimes moonstone, sometimes sea opal. The surface is flawless and the color almost supernatural. But opalite is nothing more than synthetic glass. No play of color, no silica spheres, just a blue-orange glow created by clever chemistry. Sellers use lighting tricks and fancy names to pass it off as opal, but the giveaway is always there. Look for air bubbles, a perfect surface, and a price that is too good to be true. Real opal is a miracle of geology. Hydrated silica formed over millions of years, with a rainbow fire that shifts with every angle. Opalite is made in a day, sold by the pound, and has no value beyond its beauty. This is the mirage of the gem world, a promise that vanishes when you look too close. And just when you think you have seen every trick, you find a stone that wears another skin, a chameleon in the world of gems. You pick up a piece of turquoise, the sacred stone of the Southwest, prized for its sky blue color and ancient history. But scratch the surface, and you will find the truth. Most turquoise sold on Temu is actually howlite, a soft white mineral dyed blue to mimic the real thing. The veins are too perfect, the color too uniform, and if you rub it with acetone, the dye comes off and reveals the white beneath. Real turquoise is hard, rare, and it commands a price that reflects its heritage. Dyed howlite is soft, cheap, and as common as gravel. The market is flooded with these fakes, and the only thing authentic is the deception. This is the lesson of the turquoise imposter. Sometimes the rarest thing is honesty. So if you want to spot these fakes before they drain your wallet, here is how the pros do it at home. For dyed agate, look for neon colors, color pooling in cracks, and do the acetone test. If the color rubs off, it is fake. For citrine, check the color zoning. Real citrine is pale and uniform, never burnt orange at the tips. For goldstone, look for bubbles, a glassy feel, and that instant warmth against your skin. For opalite, look for air bubbles and a lack of rainbow play of color. For turquoise, scratch it gently and use acetone. If it turns white, it is dyed howlite. And if you want more secrets, more locations, and more ways to turn rocks into riches, subscribe now, because the next stone you find could change your life. Remember, the difference between a doorstop and a fortune is just knowledge. You now possess the eyes of a prospector, the instincts of a geologist, and the wisdom to see through the world's oldest tricks. The next time you see a stone that looks too good to be true, trust your gut and trust the science.